and they're all called LASO, which means Latin American Student Organization. Okay, now here today, you guys are in a program called In the Streets. Can someone explain to me what that's all about?
Well, right now we're fixing up a lot, and we're gonna put flower beds and everything for the children in the community.
What I like to mention is that this lot used to be a crack house that was torn down and is being used as something that's positive towards the community.
One of the nice things about today is that we're here with some other African Americans. We're here with some Indian American people. I mean, we have Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Salvadoreño. I mean, we are just melting this place down.
What kind of changes have you made within the community?
Well, I'm a math tutor, and sometimes I help in computers, and I help my fellow peers.
She's done a lot for me. I've been getting better grades, A's, B's on the honor roll and stuff.
Aside from participating in a lot of these other activities, you guys boycotted the grapes because a lot of the pesticides were killing Latin American farmers, right?
We're still trying to get more people to respond to the grape boycott and to help in boycotting the grapes.
Obviously, you had an objective to help save some of the Latino people that were being killed by the grapes. But when you went out there, you had a good time, too. You went out there and you party, right? Now, you know, Mike. I know that you know. Tell me about it.
My girlfriend gonna see this? When the lights went down, Lasso got up. So it was live. We had a little dance up there. We got Pat Pint up there dancing a little bit. You put a wig on Michael in the morning.
Okay, for teens that may want to be activists or something, can you tell me through Lasso's experience what they need to do?
Well, first of all, there has to be a need and a want, because a person can't just put something together with no objective to it or no goal towards it.
Somebody tell me exactly what some of your goals were.
We wanted to get together and let everybody know that we were on campus and that we wanted to, let our opinions and expressions show that we're here and that we can make a big difference just like everybody else can.
Show other Latino youth that they can also become, professionals and become role models just like we are.
Or just going out with high school students and helping them out, trying to find a little direction and see what college is all about.
Now, once you guys establish an objective, what's the next step?
Well, it depends. Depending on where you're at, what institution you're in, if you have an advisor or a counselor who can help you out, well, then first you go ask someone to show you. For example, we have the help of the Center for Chicano Boricua Studies.
After you've went to an organization and gotten their help, what's the next step?
Well, basically it's to get more students or more people within the community aware of the organization and to join the organization and contribute their time and their efforts to the community as well.
If there's anything you guys want other people to know about Latinos, what would it be?
But I want to let everybody know that being Lasso, we're a small group and we can make a small difference. But it can't stop here. We need everybody. That it's a community thing. That there's a lot of power in the Latin community. We just don't know it because nobody opens their eyes and sees it. Together, we can make a big difference.
Thanks a lot. You heard it straight from Lasso. Peace out. Now, what's the sign you guys do? Lasso! Hey, what's going on? This is Maria Choka, and what you just saw was a bunch of graffiti art from around the way. Now, I have here with me a very talented graffiti artist, Luis Soto. How you doing, Luis?
All right.
Straight. So, tell me about what graffiti art is all about from what you know.
Well, graffiti art is part of the hip-hop culture. It's really a subculture of the hip-hop culture. I decided to get involved, and it's probably the best way to send a message out.
What do you think that your art is doing for the community?
I hope it's providing insight to whoever is familiar with some of the violence and other subjects that are happening in the barrio, My subject here is asking a question. So when people pass by, I hope they ask this question, ¿por qué? Which is why in Spanish. You have world destruction here. Right over here, I have a peace sign, I hope everyone identifies this, and I use that for the cue. Baseline is, why are today's youth being born into a violent world?
Where did you grow up at?
I grew up in Southwest Detroit, among many things happening, violence and your other everyday things that happen in the inner city. But I never took part in that, you know. I just concentrated on painting, drawing, the photography aspect. You know, I put all those together and just came out with a certain style. Gang graffiti altogether promotes violence. And my work is not promoting violence. It's, as a matter of fact, it's anti-violence.
When I was younger, I was I guess you could say, gang member. I didn't care about college or life in the future. I never thought I'd live to be older than 20. My name is Joe McLeod. I'm 18 and I attend Wayne State University. I never really thought about college, and then when I actually did graduate, I got me a little nickel and dime job and thought, you know, I could do this for the rest of my life, hang out with my boys and party, because that was my life. But then I realized after a few months that I wasn't making enough money to do anything I wanted. And I realized that this isn't for me. You know, I won't be able to stand on my own 2 feet. I figured, you know, I'd attend college. And I went to talk to some counselors at the Chicano Boricua Studies, and they helped me out a lot. They helped me find money that I didn't think I could get, because that was another reason I didn't want to attend college, because I didn't think I could afford it. And they let me know that all the money that was out there was so much that people didn't know about or didn't claim, that I just came here and you could say I cleaned up from their mistakes. I got all kinds of money, like a Pell Grant, which I got $2,600 from, which paid for each semester. I got a guaranteed Stratford student loan, which I pay back 6 months after I finish school for $2,625. I got a Latino grant from the Chicano Boricua study program. And I got $1,000 for work studies, which means I work on campus. The money I get to do what I want, but it's gonna end up going for books and materials and supplies. I got all the money that I needed for this semester. I'll have a little left over that I can put down, and I don't have to pay this semester, so I'll have a chance to work up and save up, you know, what I need, because now I know what I'm in for since I started college. I make between $70 and $120 every week, so I try to put at least $20 away a week. And sometimes I put a little bit more. The bigger my check is, a little bit more I get. Usually I get my check early and during the week, so I'll go to the bank the next day right before I come to school and just cash it there. That way, if I don't have the money in my hand, I know I won't spend it. My mother helps me. She keeps my accounts in check. You know, she shows me what she does, but she more or less helps me so I know what I'm doing. And you know, I got a credit card and all that, so she helps me keep those in check. My boys, you know, they support me because they feel that since I was labeled as a gang member, that everybody thought of me as nothing but a low life, that I wouldn't do nothing with myself. And, you know, when I became a college boy, as they call me, you know, people are starting to realize that just because I had a bad past doesn't mean I can't have a productive future.
Experience it. Growing up in the barrio, it ain't the easiest thing to do. When you got something to focus on, like myself, I focus on acting, keeps you away from violence, gangs, and other things like that can take you down in a minute. Oscar Zelaya is profiling poetry.
We are Latinas. We are brown hair, brown eyes, and dark skin.
We are Latinos. We are blonde hair, blue eyes, and light skin.
We are Latinos. We are black hair, black eyes, and black skin.
We are mestizo, descendants of Latin American Indians, Spanish, Africans, and Asians.
I wrote the poem so that these kids would be empowered. You know, they have something, you know, to look up to, that, you know, just because we're Latinos doesn't mean that, you know, we can't have dreams or, you know, have high hopes. I want them to concentrate on their education, because that's the most important thing to succeed right now.
I'm a Latino. That means I have to struggle. I have to struggle to succeed. I had the opportunity my parents never
Therefore,
did.
I had to reject the negative forces that are trying to pull me down. So I said it's gangs, violence, and drugs, and dropping out of school.
One thing that I didn't like about my community is that kids have to grow up looking up to role models who are in gangs, and I just want them to have an alternative to gangs and look up to role models who would lead them into something good and useful. I myself play guitar, and I write poems and music, and that gets me away from the drugs and the violence. To get inspired to write my poetry, I would think of things like nature and beautiful things like that have nothing to do with where the world is going right now. That really inspires me to write poetry. After I write my poetry, I get a sense of inner peace, that I have done something that came from inside me, that's rather than from somewhere else. We can stop that cycle of ignorance by taking our education now and in the future. It belongs to us. We have the right to take it. That way, when our kids ask us questions, we can look at them in the eye and say, I know the answer to your question.
That's why we've decided to hang out with a good friend of mine and knucklehead, Mike
Bataya.
Bataya. He's a personal trainer and a bodybuilder, right? So what do you mean, trainer? What do you do?
Well, come on, let me show you.
He's gonna show me.
Are you coming or what?
Yeah. I feel huge. I'm whipped. Mike, what keeps you motivated?
To be honest, girls. Well, on the serious tip though, I used to be like 247 pounds. I mean, loose pounds. I used to ride in cars and hit chuck holes and boom. I mean, I used to get black eyes. I was really loose. I just knew I wasn't healthy. I wasn't happy with myself. I didn't have enough confidence in myself. And I felt like getting in shape would put everything into place. It did. Well, I lost weight and kept it off. I basically watch what I eat. I keep the fat to, try to cut fat out of my diet completely. Eat a lot of fruit and high proteins. And I educated myself. Basically read Muscle and Fitness magazine because they usually have like nutritional information.
Do you think all people that have a full figure or that might be a little bit bigger should want to be thin?
No, if you're comfortable with the way you are, you shouldn't want to change yourself.
You do a lot of comedy and you're a funny guy. When you were younger and overweight, did you try to be funny so people wouldn't take notice to your weight problem?
Oh yeah, of course. It was a defense mechanism right there. I try to get to them before they got to me, basically. Because I was always getting like, hey, fat boy this, fat boy that. I was basically getting snapped on a lot when I was a kid. And I try to make them laugh and try to forget what they were seeing, you know?
What do you get out of helping other people train?
Personal satisfaction. I like to see people happy. And whether it be doing it through my comedy or helping them better themselves, you know? If they feel like working out and getting in shape is going to make them happy, so be it. I'm there for them.
For someone that might be watching the segment that might be overweight, that might want to lose a few pounds or just get in shape, what do they need to do?
Just be aggressive. Go for it, you know? Visualize what you want to do. Keep that in your head and just, that'll be your motivation.